As we begin these reflections on Holy Mass, we need to make clear the purpose of these reflections. They are to help all of us awaken our faith so that we can truly celebrate Holy Mass more worthily, more prayerfully, in a more Catholic manner. Now, as the reflections unfold, there are 40 of them to discuss the Mass, each of about 15 minutes apiece. As they unfold, what I hope to do is to help us all renew the inner spirit of prayer, which is so important as we celebrate Holy Mass. It is prayer that counts above all, not merely the performance of the ritual actions. Now, to renew the inner spirit, the Church has created an exercise for us at the outset of Holy Mass, actually for something for us to do before we even arrive at Holy Mass. Namely, the Church has created a regulation which is called the Eucharistic fast. And its purpose is solely to foster the spirit of interior prayer. The demands of this fast are quite simple. All those who would receive Holy Communion should abstain from food and drink, except water and medicine, for 1 hour prior to receiving the Holy Sacrament. This actually replaces an older regulation of abstaining from food and drink from midnight of the day one is to receive, which was extremely difficult for priests who were celebrating more than one Mass on Sunday, sometimes as late as noon. It meant they were fasting all the way from midnight until that final celebration of the Holy Eucharist. It was also difficult for families if they went to a later Mass in the morning on Sunday. But the Church has made this Eucharistic fast much easier, just 1 hour before receiving Holy Communion. That means there's much less stress, there's much less difficulty, but because Holy Communion is the very life of the Church wants us to prepare for it in a special way. Preparing for Holy Mass is not done adequately if we stop at McDonald's on the way to the church. Preparing for Holy Communion means emptying ourselves of our normal daily life to prepare for the reception of Jesus into our hearts. He loves our daily lives. He loves us doing our daily life things. But when it comes to this special moment of Holy Communion, we need to truly prepare. And that's why the 1 hour Eucharistic fast is required by the Church. Besides that external preparation, there are other preparations that should be made. I would call them interior preparations, and they are much more important. We must never take for granted our reception of Holy Communion. Now, the interior preparation will vary among us from person to person, but the point is that we prepare ourselves to meet God as the spiritual person that God is, just as we would prepare for any meeting of an important personage in this world. If you were going to meet the president or a king or some other important the governor of the state, you would prepare. You wouldn't just walk in without even thinking, oh, hi, I didn't expect to see you, Governor, when all along you had an appointment to do so. We want to meet God, and that means interiorly we have to be ready to meet God on God's terms and to meet God in a loving relationship, not a merely legal relationship. Now, most people, in addition to the Eucharistic fast, will need some quiet time to prepare for meeting God. Some will find the reading of sacred scripture would be very helpful, to just take their Bibles and read some passage of sacred scripture. And it places them in a special sense of relationship to God.